Government is sitting on more than $22 billion in excess funds.
The state's got billions of dollars more in tax collections than expected.
The extra money that is inside of that account.
Hi, and welcome to our YouTube page. This page is being brought to you by the Foreclosure Academy. I am Coach Bill. I am part of this academy, and the reason for this video today is to explain to you about the overage business. Now, the first thing I'd like to explain about the overage business is you will hear a few different terms used to describe the exact same thing. It is called the overage business, it is called the surplus business, it is called the excess funds business. It's all the same thing, it just depends on what state it is that you're in, but just not to confuse you, those terms are used interchangeably. Now, the business is all created because of an unfortunate life event called a foreclosure. It's sad, it happens every single day, in every single city, in every single county, in every single state across our great nation. Now, this business is designed for us to take that negative and turn it into a positive. But before I get into that, let me explain to you a little bit about foreclosures. Now, foreclosures are going to happen because of two things, either non-payment of county taxes or non-payment of bank loan. So let's address each of those two things. When you own a property, you do agree to pay county property taxes. And for whatever reason, someone is not able to keep up on their property taxes, they are going to do what's called default. Now, the county tax collector will give someone typically a chance or two to get that money back to them via payment plan, maybe a time extension, something of that nature. But when those obligations are not met, the county tax collector will foreclose. The foreclosure will then mean that that tax collector will turn the property over to either the sheriff or a trustee. They will sell that property, the client gets evicted from that property, and then after that, that county is made whole on their tax money that is owed to them because and the result of the sale. Now, the same idea is also going to happen with your mortgage loan. When a person buys a house, they are borrowing money from the bank because generally speaking, most people don't pay cash for their homes. And so they have a monthly payment that is obligated to be paid to the bank each month. Something happens in a family, whether it be loss of a spouse, job, whatever, it doesn't matter. The bank doesn't care. You agree to make a monthly payment, and when you don't make that monthly payment, you're defaulted. Now, same idea that the bank is going to contact either the local sheriff or the local trustee and let them know that you've defaulted. So the sheriff or trustee will send a notice to the property owner saying, hey, we're selling your house, you're going to be evicted, and that's exactly what happens. They sell the property and they evict the homeowner, and then after that, the bank is made whole on their loan. Again, county is made whole on their debt for the property taxes, and the homeowner is essentially kicked out of the home and they're on the street. Now, where it gets interesting and the overage business is created is because of that foreclosure. Now, if the home goes back to the bank or the home, goes back to the government in some way, shape, or form, there is no overage. But if it is sold to another person, meaning like a new third party, a new family per se, or an investor of some sort, that is where overage is created. Now, for the sake of an example, let's just say that the property sells for $100,000. That $100,000 less, let's say, the debt that the homeowner owed was $75,000. 100 less 75 we know is 25. So that $25,000 remaining would be your excess, your surplus, or your overage fund. Now, that money is owed back to the person that got foreclosed on. Yes, the person that lost their home. That is their due money because that was their due earned equity in that property. Now, the government doesn't do a whole lot to get that money back to that client. Sometimes they just send out one letter, that's it. And if the customer gets the letter, they get it. If they don't get the letter, they don't. Government says, hey, we tried, and that's that. So then that money would be sitting with the sheriff or with the county, possibly at the treasurer's office, clerk of courts. There's going to be a bunch of different locations that money can be sitting in. And if it goes unclaimed, the government can claim that money. And that's called an S-cheat, which is the letters ES and then the word cheat. Now, actually, S-cheat goes all the way back to early roots in England. If a family didn't have a will and didn't claim a beneficiary on a will, the government could go in and claim that property as the government's property, right? So the original root of an S-cheat is designed to keep the government rich and the citizens poor. Fast forward several hundred years later, not a whole lot has changed, right? Still called an S-cheat, and the government claims the money that has been earned, right, by the citizen that paid that money for all those years. It's not right, and that's where we come in. Now, the government doesn't do a whole lot to like I said, notify that homeowner that that money's there. We, however, will do that. So part of the services that we provide are that we identify what properties actually qualify for that overage refund. So once we've identified the property that qualifies for the overage refund, the next step is to then identify where the client is. We know they've moved because they were evicted. So the second step is finding them. Once they're found, we explain the process, which is very simple, direct, and straightforward. It's not an overly complicated business. It's not an overly complicated process, and it will be something that your clients can understand. Once we have spoken to the client, we will sign some paperwork with the client. It's not in depth. It's probably anywhere between 5 and 10 pages, depending on the type of case that it is. Once that paperwork is back, we will process all of that paperwork with the proper legal authorities, and that will go through typically a court process, depending upon where that money's at. And once that is completed, the best part of the journey begins, which is the refund process. Now, the refund process is where you're going to pay the client the money that you explained to them that they were owed. And I can tell you from personal experience, there is absolutely nothing more gratifying than paying your client, because they are getting not only some money that they badly need, probably worse than anyone that you know, but they also don't walk away with nothing. They actually get paid and get to walk away with some dignity and some self-respect. So it's a good day for them. It's also a good day for us. You fulfilled your promise. You fulfilled everything that it was that you said you would do as a business owner. I personally find this business to be extremely fun and extremely gratifying because what we're doing is helping people get back on their feet. And I don't think there's anything better than that. Now, if you do decide to become a person that's into the overage business, you're welcome to join the Academy. We certainly help you and coach you there. If you decide to do the journey on your own, you can certainly do that as well. We would welcome you there, and good luck to you on your journey. Thank you.